Hi, you must be Becca.
Hi, you're Dr. Frank?
Yes, actually I'm just Frank Arena. I'm not a doctor yet, but I'm an occupational therapy student here at the University of St. Augustine. I was the one who administered the Beery VMI test on your son, Aditya.
Oh, how did he do?
Well, I'm actually here to explain the results and just sort of let you know what I found and some things that we wanted to talk to you about. I'm glad that your son is here with us, and we can explain sort of what he did for this assessment, and hopefully I can make you understand some things. I know that you would come to us with a couple concerns, and I just wanted to address those and maybe talk to you about some things moving forward, if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so the assessment that we used on your son is something called the Beery VMI. This is just a way that we can test visual and motor skills when they work together in conjunction. So sort of like how he coordinates what he looks at and what he's doing with his hands, if that makes sense.
So like when he's drawing and stuff?
Yeah, exactly. So at school, if he's working on his homework, or if he's drawing, or if he's on his iPad and he's touching the pads.
He does like the iPad?
Yeah, so all of those types of things, those all coordinate and help him to access those abilities. So what we did was I want to show you sort of the test that we ran. So you can see that there are a few drawings that we have set up. So there's a total of 30 drawings. And the idea is that we wanted Aditya to go through and just copy as best as he could and try to maintain on task.
So is he the top or is the bottom one?
Yeah, so he's these bottom ones over here, and you can kind of see like the top ones give you a rough estimate of what we're looking for, and then the bottom is where we go. So you can see some of them went out of the line, some of them might be a little curved, but the grading is a little bit wonky based on how accurately they saw certain details. So it's not necessarily if like they did exactly what it was. It's a criteria based on certain lines or motions that we want to see them produce. Okay.
So the circle would be like being able to do the full circle.
Yeah. We want to see that there's closure to the circle. We don't want to see that there's lines that are coming out. We want to see that they understand concepts like that. So what we do is we challenge we challenged your son to go through all of these and sort of draw. And I'm just going to show you a few of these. So this was the beginning of his assessment. You can see he's doing really well. They look very similar to those. You see we start to lose a little bit of weight on the left and right side, but then, he starts to come back. See, this one is opposite, so we start to see a little bit of back and forth. Now, the idea with this is we want to see how many he can get correct in a row.
Okay.
And what I wanted to do is show you his summary screen over here. So as you can see, the scores that he received, his raw score was a 15. Okay, so what that means is that he was able to get through 15 of his drawings without making 3 mistakes in a row. I know it's kind of weird the way that they do this. The reasoning is because these drawings get progressively more complicated.
So like here he did that extra circle.
Right, and then you see that this one, although it's not a triangle shape, we have more of a circular shape, and there's extra circles. So we're starting to lose the concepts a little bit when they become more difficult.
Got it.
So what we can see here is from this raw score of 15, he was able to get to item 15 really well. So right up to this point right here, we see, there's just one mistake. We're not going to count that as 2 and 3, but then you see he picks back up and he starts to get it again.
Got it.
But then when we start adding multiple shapes, we start to lose a little bit of the focus, but then he picks it back up and then he starts to make it. And then right here is where we have our 1, 2, 3.
Okay. So this test is like focusing on his ability to focus and recreate the drawings.
Right. And when we had met earlier, you had mentioned that, your son, when he's doing things that he really enjoys, he can attend to them really well.
Yeah.
And, while we were doing this test, this was obviously something he wasn't into. So attention was something that I had to take note of. And it's hard to administer a test like this when, the person that is there doesn't even want to be there, right?
No goldfish to treat.
No goldfish, like you mentioned. But the idea is just that we want to be able to find a baseline for your son. Okay, that's what this assessment is for. Now, we took that raw score of 15 and I put it through conversion tables regarding his age, his chronological age, which we'll get into in a second, and averages based on people that are around his age doing the same tasks. So we get a normative value, just something that's an average.
So it's almost like a standardized test.
Yeah, exactly. So this is a standardized test that sort of gives us an idea of where your son falls with everybody else that takes the test.
Okay.
And based on what I saw, there are certain conversions that I've done where, you know, your son is roughly 9 years old. His chronological age is a little bit above that. And the standard score that he received was an 83. Now, 83 to you might not seem too high or too low. The number that we're trying to shoot for here for his age group is 100.
Okay.
Okay. So the average for someone his chronological age, so the age that we dictate from his birth date to when we took the exam, is a standardized score of 83. Okay. And what that means is, based on normative values, his score is normal for someone who is 5 years, 4 months. So.
Oh, okay, so that's a little bit.
Yeah. So it is a little bit of a weakness once we get to more complex things. But I feel like we have this foundation where he gets the concepts of the motions and he understands the the almost complexity of the design, but then this is where we start to lose attention. I feel like this is when he started to fidget, he started to move around in his chair.
As long into the test.
Right, and I can't give him goldfish, so it's hard to keep him there. So I feel like this is more of an attention thing than a motor visual thing, because you can see that he still maintains all the basic shapes and concepts. It's not like he's not seeing it, but it's almost like he sees a couple of circles and then just draws the circles.
Yeah,
and
he's
sees
kind
these
of
circles.
rushing through it.
Right.
Yeah.
So my concern with seeing something like that is that if he finds that he's not enjoying something, he gets inattentive. And I'm concerned about his educational future. I don't want him to be in an assignment or a quiz or a test and he just decides that he doesn't want to take it, so he gives up on it.
Yeah, I mean, his attention is something we definitely struggle with unless it's something he really wants to do.
Right, and obviously that's something that we can work through. And I just wanted to finish up just explaining the scoring, just so you can have an idea of where we can move forward. Okay. So the last one that I wanted to just touch upon is the percentile. Now, you hear about percentiles in like college, and if you're like the 95th percentile, you have like you graduate with honors, right? In the medical world, we work with percentiles that are the average of the age. So we work on what we call a bell curve. The center of that bell curve is going to be 50%. So we wanted to try to hit 50 percentile, all right? Your son is currently sitting at the 13th percentile. So that means that in terms of visual motor function, he has the attention, it's just he doesn't have the discipline. So I think that if we can translate that sort of fun, playful environment of, let's say, the Disney movies that you had mentioned to me.
Yeah,
so
he drawings and Disney related.
Right, so if we can incorporate something like that, we can use his attention to gather more results, to garner further results.
Yeah, maybe some Disney coloring books might be helpful.
Yeah, exactly. Or, even furthering his education, you could think of Disney math books. You can try to introduce those things that he likes into his education, into his food, into his religion. However you want to do it, try to find that common ground with him. And lastly, I just wanted to show you this last one. So you see how these few, right at the end, we're looking for more of like contact here, we're looking for structure, we're looking for the discipline in these last three. I don't view this as something that he struggled with. I almost see this as something that he sort of took creative license with. And I kind of see this as we can take this sort of creative license and apply it to whatever we're trying to do with him, whether that be the educational lens, whether that be the toilet training that you had initially come in for. I feel like we can try to meet him halfway on his, developmental level, and we can try to get the most out of him.
So you see him being more outside of the box in terms of...
Yeah, I really do. Because if you look at these earlier ones, I mean, he's nailing them. He nails it. He gets it, and he was doing them quickly. So I could tell that it wasn't something that was really challenging him, if that makes sense. He seems to have great coordination with both of his hands. We also look for the way that he holds the pen, the way that he holds the paper to stabilize it and then write, and that was all there.
Okay.
So you know, that's all really great for you know, his schoolwork. It's just that attention that I think that we could work towards. So if we start to implement certain things that he likes into that, you know, education routine, that feeding routine, that you know, that toileting routine, I think we're going to get great results out of your son.
I like that. It's something I have to think of how to incorporate Disney into the toilet area. That's going to be a fun one. Maybe getting some themed Mickey Mouse bathroom accessories or something.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm more than happy to help. I got a few ideas that can definitely help with the toilet training as well. I know your husband is very excited about that.
Yeah, I know he's an expert at this point. So
exactly. Well, do you have any questions for me before I head to my next patient?
Not at this time.
Okay, great. Well, it was nice to meet you again. If you have any questions, you have my number, and yeah, happy to
see you next time.
Yes, we'll see you next time. Have a good one, guys.